Hey there, so today I want to return to my part-time vocation, cringe farming. Now, if you haven't ever heard of a cringe farmer, you're wondering exactly what that kind of does, what it brings to your life. Well, you're talking about working with a professional, someone that'll lead you to the best crops out there. And well, I have to say, the Captain Marvel crops, they are really, really good. You want this kind of stuff too in your life, because after you finish, no matter whether you're shaking your head or whether you're laughing at it or whether you think, my God, is this the real world? At the end of the day, you can feel better. Why? Because no matter what you run across, you can say, at least I'm not dealing with these folks. At least my mindset is not that. At least I can look at the world and see it in better shades than this. This shade, it basically says that people have either bought into marketing or they're out shilling for something. I mean, sometimes it's both. You know, you see people that swallow the certain type of marketing that's sold to them. You know, the first of, oh, it's going to be a particular buzzword. Well, that's a great movie. It's going to be great because they can't hear criticism with it. They can't hear that anymore at all. They want to say that in a reaction to it, well, it's going against the quote-unquote first of. I find that to be particularly successful for companies out there, but people that look at this and don't understand that their reactions, they're pretty much responding to advertising, well, it says something in itself. And then when you look at their reactions, I think that says even more. So you see the title here, and then the byline. The byline tells you more about it, but just look at this. You know where it's going to come from. The best thing about the new Captain Marvel trailer is the reaction to it by emasculated sexists. Oh, man. And then the other part, yes, we're sure Hillary Clinton had time to sponsor the trailer's quote-unquote with her message. So, of course, they start in. You can see exactly how this comes up. And interestingly, this is a guy. This is actually a guy. I always wonder when you get into this. I expect this from some people brandishing their torches, you know, trying to run out and purge the wrong thinkers. But when you look at this from a guy that has to go hard like that, exactly what are they trying to say? You know, that men that have opinions, they're sexist. Well, sooner or later, you'll probably cross that line too, bud. So let's get into that. Today, we're saying a big boo-hoo to all the men who are feeling a little threatened by Marvel Studios' upcoming release, Captain Marvel. You know, because again, in a reaction to something out there, that reaction, it's feeling threatened. Now, this person, you know, of course, they go through the same standard stuff about that being dropped and on. We get our first female-led solo flick. Then not everybody was happy with that when they saw it, however. We get the trailer embedded there. Then Brie Larson steps into that role, and it hasn't taken long for sexists. Of course, anyone that has a problem with something, they're going to be sexist, to start frantically smashing away on their keyboards, picking at anything from the tone of her voice to the slogan shown on screen to promote her character. Now, when people talked about smiling, yeah, that character, that was terrible. It was terrible to talk about. When they talked about, you know, this character seeming kind of cardboard, that kind of stuff was monstrous. It's funny, too, because the same people that write these articles, well, they end up doing things like this. So a couple of years ago, just to throw this in as a little bit of FYI, here's Brie Larson rubbing the stomach of a dolphin. Yep, I touched a dolphin's belly while sporting a trucker's hat in 2004. Edit, I did not support or do not support animal cruelty. So Brie Larson had to come out, put up an apology about that because, oh my God, she actually stroked a dolphin's belly. That's the kind of people that are responding to this, you know, because you're either on the side, you know, of the quote-unquote angels here. You're part of the right think crowd, and, you know, you have people out there that you can attack, or, you know, you're doing something wrong, and you're going to have to apologize for it. And it's amazing how fast these people will turn on you. So here they talk about with her. With her, I just threw up in my mouth a little. One particularly delicate man writes, did the Clintons pay for that? You couldn't make this stuff up. Even in a world where aliens exist and heroes spend much of their time flying through the skies of the United States, there's a Clinton conspiracy. Yeah, you know, and really, that gets into the idea of, could there be an advertising message within that? Now, I never saw anything about anyone saying this. And actually, I didn't see them linked to anything with that. I haven't looked that up. But I'm going to say that, yeah, one particularly delicate person, using their own words here, they put that out there. And man, of course, gotta have something to write about it. Then there are the typical comments, of course, from those who would never write the same thing about a male hero. She talks like a character from Beverly Hills 90210. Captain SJW can't act. They say, then they go on to say, Chris Evans, he's never had to deal with that. And well, it doesn't take a genius to figure out why. Maybe when you're looking at that character, just maybe the reaction isn't to the character at all. Maybe it's to Brie Larson, or maybe it's to Marvel, or maybe, you're looking at marketing reaction. When you look at Brie Larson, when she was talking about how this lowly person working in an airport hit on her, God forbid, and then spun that into sexism, yeah. When she talked about how reviewers of movies, they didn't need to be white or male, yeah. Stuff like that, that's going to get you a specific response out there, and it shows where you come from. Also, Disney, they've made it perfectly clear where they stand on many a thing from Star Wars and on. And Marvel, well, if you want to look into a really, really crappy thing, well, you want that crap fest on your shoe, yep, go out and check that out. So here, here's something to prove why. Somebody said, Bucky Barnes acts emotionless due to memory wipe and a lack of understanding of his identity. Male Marvel fans, what a great character. Carol Danvers sometimes acts a bit off because of memory wipe and a lack of understanding of her identity. Male Marvel fans, so of course, that's okay. We got to throw that out there. But when somebody responds to it and says that she's an emotionless Mary Sue, that proves that the person is an ist and a foe. Isn't that lovely? So continuing on, one of the most flagrant abuses of male privilege comes from a Facebook commentator who wrote, "What a freaking joke. I hope Marvel goes down the toilet with their social justice attitude. Why does every superhero, every cartoon, every action movie have to be rebooted with some unbelievable chick who can't act? Are we supposed to buy into this? I don't think so. Oh my God, the most flagrant abuses there. Because, yeah, I don't really get the reboot comment. I guess they don't get that, if they're talking about this movie within it. But, maybe they're just talking about something else where, they skip out. I don't know. There's no link to the original comment. Maybe they don't know what they're talking about. But apparently, of course, one thing deserves an article. Isn't that lovely? So, of course, they're going to give you a little bit of background there. And then after the background, it begs the question, why is it taking sexist trolls so long to catch up if comic book writers have been pushing powerful female characters forward for decades? I would say that you probably haven't been looking at the material. And if you have, and you think that the material, that now it's on a downward selling trend, that basically you can't move as many units, it's becoming more and more niche as you make billions of dollars. If you think that is reflective of long ago, yeah, there's a beautiful bridge out there. I would want to sell you, but I'm sure you've already bought it. So of course we're going to end up here. We're not saying that you have to love it or go out of your way to see the film simply to earn your non-sexist credentials, because they're giving out those credentials. You can hate the teaser, you can hate the idea. You can even comment on Larson's performance in the 2 minutes we've seen her. Just don't use gender, as part of the critique. All right, so you're not supposed to use gender as part of the critique. But, when we're talking about this here, when we're talking about it, of course, we're supposed to use gender as part of the selling point. But we're not supposed to use gender as part of the critique. Gotcha. So we just pretend, that Brie Larson, we'll call her, a stump, a tree, since that's pretty much her acting prowess there. Maybe we could confuse her with a rock. Maybe Mundane Matt could bring in a boulder. I'm not really sure there. But yeah, you get the point. So aren't these wonderful articles? It makes you really, really want to buy in. this kind of stuff, it may work for its specific audience too. And this, I'm pretty sure that this is probably very niche. It probably doesn't reach a lot of people, but you have articles out there that do. They sound just like something that'll come from the Washington Post and on. And that kind of stuff, it may work for a little while, but you have to keep going down that first of rabbit hole to keep making articles like this. And as you keep doing that, how far can you go? Meanwhile, you turn people off, and well, after a little while, Star Wars performance. You're going to get one of those again. But anyhow, you tell me what you think about this. Specifically, tell me what you think about, say, the movie, think about this kind of reaction. What'd you think about the trailer? You looking forward to that movie? You think it'll be good? You think it'll be terrible cringe? Tell me what you think. Also, if you like this kind of content and you want to support the channel, like, subscribe, hit that bell. I appreciate people that have been subbing. I love to do this kind of stuff, and I love the conversation with it. If you want to go further, there are links within the description. I appreciate any backing that you give with that too. Make sure that you leave comments though, because I like reading through those. New comments, new stuff daily, to comment on. And as always, I appreciate you coming in. Thank you.